Howdy, everybody. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you appreciate the corn song playing in the background. So I'm just gonna let this finish out, and then we'll get started. All right, calm down, Shoei. All right. Sorry, I should have started that song earlier so that we weren't waiting for so long.
You've successfully perverted the laws of God and man.
We got it. All right. Welcome on in, Pat. Welcome on in, Subbell. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. Greatly appreciate you. We are on day 24. Yep. Day 24 with a date of, ooh, it's a Monday, November 30th. All right. We're getting places. Now, I don't know what I want to do. Because we have everything in terms of, like, the paintings. I'm not sure what else there is for me to, like, try to accomplish. In bed, chilling, resting up, for, more... Ah, I see. Well, yeah, hope you get rested up. Yeah, because you're off for a couple days, which is awesome, but... Yeah, hope you have a good rest. I will be losing my mind in this game for a bit. As I tend to do. Okay, what do we got? Excellent. Schoolhouse. Perfect. Waste all of my gems. I wish I had a shovel, but we got a sledgehammer. It's good enough. Howdy, Mar. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. I think that's everything in here. Okay. We got a sledgehammer. Sledgehammer's pretty good if we come across chests. I'm not sure how often chests are going to spawn, though. Subval is grooving. Alright. Shit everything. Made my wish. All that. Okay. Birds are still there. So, we need to find gems so we can get classrooms. That doesn't, strictly speaking, matter where we go. So let's just kind of start making our way around. Library could be useful. Nook could give us... Well, either way, we're going up. So let's just do library. Library is more utility than the other ones. Is there anything in here? Did anything ever spawn in the library? I don't think so. Check out a book. I think we've seen all the books. So I think the last one we're going to do is this one. Library. Curse of Black Bridge. Check out. Alright. Does the schoolhouse wood burner work? I think it had a switch on it, but that switch has activated one of the blue flames outside. I don't know if it works beyond that. Also, welcome in, Mom. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. Bookstore. Study. I guess, well, I mean, we'll do the classroom because we need to spawn those, but I need more gems. Where's my den? We love the den. Alright, free apple. Oi. Well, actually, funeral parlor would be great right now. Well, I say great right now. Funeral parlor would be good if we get a few more red rooms. So we'll do that. I kind of have a bad set of rooms over here where it's just kind of looping me up this way. I might want to go back to the entrance hall and see if we can't get some more things going on. Waste a few steps, but it's fine. We got an apple. If I can get a bedroom spawn, those are always nice. Den. Perfect. Or storeroom. Ooh. You know what? I think I'm going to dead end this northern area so I can get one of each. If I find a shovel, that'll be nice. And then we'll go left. Try to get the den. No, well, I'll save you for now. We'll do hallway. Get a few more opportunities and a key. Keep an eye on the floor, see if there's any gems spawning anywhere. Look at it, grab the key. And we'll do classroom again. We're trying to get up to grade 4, I believe. If we get past grade 4, we'll have found something new. Okay, let's keep going. Guest bedroom would kind of dead end us, but we have the room next to us to keep trying. And I think, or I could redraw. Let's redraw, see if we get something cool. Yo, Sonic Dive Cam. Hey, welcome in. I'm gonna butcher pronouncing your name, I'm gonna be honest. I'll just call you Lank? Lank says Tur. Lank says whatever. Welcome in, Lank. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. Ooh, courtyard. Ugh, gross. Can't wait to get to grade 4. Dude, I cannot wait. I've been stuck in first grade forever. Bedroom could be nice, because that basically gives us a free walkthrough in this area. Courtyard would be pretty good, but I would lose a gem, and I need gems. Nook could give us... And we'll do bedroom. I was just talking about that. Also, bedroom tends to spawn things, right? Sometimes. Anything? Anything at all? And... This looks like a thinking game. It is very much a thinking game. Well, crap. I guess we'll just dead end this guest with the guest bedroom. What it spawn though? Key card. That's actually... I can't think, unfortunately. That's fine. Also, howdy, Joe. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. We're not that far into this first day, so call me Lance. I can do that. Didn't put any skill points into it. That's entirely valid. Thinking is overrated sometimes. My current goal for this house is going to be classroom maxing, so we'll see if we can do that. Which means we'll come back to the... Actually, let's look at this real quick. The gems are in a box with the word blue on it. Okay. The gems are in a box that is actually blue. Huh. Well, that's actually confusing me. I think we found the first one that stumped me. Okay, so one of these has to be true, and one of these has to be false. The gems are in a box with the word blue on it. The gems are in a box that is actually blue. Well, I guess... Yeah, both boxes have the word blue on it. So I guess this one... okay, let's think about it like this. If this one is true, that means this one is false. Oh, so it'd just be in the black box. But if this one is true, this one can't be false. Because if they both have the word blue on it, then it has to be true because it's in one of these. Because they can't both be false. So, okay, like with the rules, one of these statements has to be true, one of these statements has to be false, and the third one can be whatever. But since there is no third statement, that means one of these has to be true, and one of these has to be false. There's only one of them can be true, and only one of them can be false. If this one is true, the gems are in a box that is actually blue, then this statement must be false. The gems are in a box with the word blue on it. But that can't be the case, because then the black box would then be false because it has the word blue on it. And then this one would be false. So it's not actually in the blue. Like, okay, how do I put this? If the black box is true, it becomes a paradox, because the box that is blue then has the word blue on it. Does the blue box have to be false since they both have the word blue on them? Well, no, so that's what I mean, because, like, that's what I think I was trying to explain through there. If the black box is true, that the gems are in the actually blue box, then the gems would be in here, and this statement would be false, saying the gems are in a box with the word blue on it, meaning that the gems aren't in a box with the word blue on it. But that's not possible, because if this is true, then the gems are in the blue box, but then the blue box itself would be saying that that's false, because the blue box has because if the blue box statement is false, then the gems are not in a box with the word blue on it, and the blue box has the word blue on it. So then it can't be in the blue box. So that becomes a paradox. So that means the blue box must be true, where the gems are in a box with the word blue on it. That means that the black box is false. The gems are not in a box that is actually blue, meaning they're in the black box. Now, I need to get a couple more red rooms to make this worth it, but I'm going to lock in on that statement. Speaking of red rooms. Make money. Why not white? Because white didn't have a statement on it, and neither of the messages on either box pointed to the white box being the one that would have the gems in it. Because, like, the 3 rule. Ooh, the greenhouse is new. What? No, don't do this to me. Okay. Ooh. I don't want to waste the gem on the greenhouse because we're trying to classroom max, and it would dead end, which means I only have one more door through the chapel. So I'm gonna do the pantry, because the pantry would then let me get into the foundation, which gives me 2 more doors. But ooh, that greenhouse is worth it. Is tempting though. That greenhouse is mighty tempting. Apple. And I'm not going to pick up the money for now. I'll come back for it later if I need it, because I don't want to lose it in the chapel. Okay. Let's go forward. I missed my one chance to spawn a den, didn't I? Alright, well, let's spawn the classroom for now, because they're useful. And that's what I need. Is this a different classroom? No, this is the periodic table letters making words thing. Which doesn't really matter anymore, because I've already done this puzzle. Water. Which one of these is wrong? Hold on. W-A-T-E-R. Hold on. Dreamer's refusal to gem max makes me sad. I would love to gem max, but I want to spawn classrooms, and I'm not getting rooms that give me gems. So I'm like, I'm not able to gem max. You know what? I'll save that for later. We'll go through the other foundation door real quick. Well, I can't spawn that one, so I guess we'll do spare room. Gymnasium would give me another red room, which would be fun. Oh, never mind, den. Parlor, though? Well, yeah, well, the thing is, I want to spawn more red, because right now I'm only going to get 2 gems out of the funeral parlor. I'm trying to get like another red room I can just ignore. Like the empty closet, but now it's not the time to spawn that. I could get another classroom, though. Yeah, we're trying to classroom max. Let's do it. Yeah, here's the geography one, which is a little confusing, because we've taken pictures of this one before, though, so we don't need to do it again. Okay, now what I'm going to do, be a little silly, I'm going to run all the way back to the chapel. And I'm going to see if I can't spawn the empty closet here. No! Rats. I guess we spawned the corridor. Because the Nook would just end it. So, yeah, see corridor. 10% of the way to the gaycation? Oh, no. Perfect. Gymnasium. Because then I just don't have to go in there. I don't need to go in there. There's running shoes. Well, let's wait to go to the utility closet. But now, we will get 3 gems from the funeral parlor. So now it's worth it. Anyway, we determined that it's in the black box. Hey, we hitting the gym? No, we're avoiding the gym. We'll hit the gym if we can turn the lights off, but otherwise we're avoiding it. Okay, so we determined that it's not in the blue box. It can't be in the white box. It's going to be in the black box. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Now we can head back up through the classroom, back through the den. We got options. We'll go through the classroom for now. We got a key. I don't really have a good... Well, actually, I could probably take... Yeah, because there's no other way through. So I'll take the money, because if I have to go back to the chapel, I mess something up. Okay. Let's go this way. I know we need a key, but it'll work out. Patio! Oh, wait, in green rooms. That's not very useful. Oh, all of these dead end, but I can redraw. Well, not all of them dead end. You know what I mean. Empty closet, you would have been useful a bit ago. Drawing room, I don't think I need you. So we'll do East Wing Hallway. Or I could redraw again. I got tons of redraws. You're so good at the logic puzzles. I thought you called me Patio. I mean, that would be a fun name, but ooh. Ooh. I'm going to do the dining room because I'm going to need the steps. But the terrace could be fun. Actually, no, I might do terrace. Yeah, I'm going to do terrace. Because then I can save my gems for the classrooms. Now we're gem maxing. Pat, would you actually accept the nickname Patio? Garage, don't do this to me. Especially not here. That would end the run. We gotta do West Wing Hallway. But now... people already call me Patty. I see. Oh, there's the patio again. We could do the billiard room. Actually, let's do the billiard room to get a couple keys. Or I could... No, I'm going to redraw. Because why get a couple of keys when I can get... Commissary? I don't have enough money for that. Ooh, I need one more green room for the bunk rooms. Ugh. Gonna make a cereal brand and call it Patios. Excellent. Ooh, I could get another classroom. Yeah, why not? That's what we're looking for. What did we make it to? We made it to grade 5! Let's go! What? Oh, it's art class? Draw 2 things that share all but... Okay, so this is the painting one. All of the classrooms just give you answers to the puzzles, but we've already solved most of these so far. Except for the geography one. But yeah, we already know this one. Acorn corn, pretty good. Who failed? Josh. Josh failed. 2 and tooth. And we got a stag, got a crowbar, got a flan. Love a good acron. Me too. All right. 5th grade. Excellent. We've made it. The question is for the thing that we already completely solved, so we don't need to know about that. Now let's head up to tad late, but I'm here now. Welcome in, Jerry. Glad you can make it. Thank you for stopping by. We're currently gem maxing to try and get as many classrooms as we can. We have made it to 5th grade, so we are getting there. The teacher is mean. Josh probably just had a lisp. Oh, God. I guess we'll do Nook, because we need the key, and we don't really have the money to buy anything, so. Yoink. Hey, there's hello, Rachel. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. The extended L was not me trying to remember your name. 5th grade. Too bad reading comprehension is stuck in 1st grade. So true, bestie. Are you kidding me? RNG just killed the run. Great. I had so many... I could have... If I had... Tragedy. This is a tragedy. Look at this. You could just not dox me. Look, do you want me to call you Bessie? Like, I could. Yeah, no, this is it, isn't it? There's no other doors to take. Ah. Rats. Nursery. Why not? Literally doesn't matter. Anything worth nabbing in the nursery? Is there a dice in the nursery to really rub it in? There's a key. Doxing party. Howdy, Bear. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. I know you have the power to dox some people. Or at least one person. Alright, I think that's literally all we can do today, which kind of sucks because we were really classroom maxing for a bit there. We got to 5th grade. That's an accomplishment. We'll just have to call it for today. And if we get the library... we can get the Blackbridge book. But you can dox me too. Mutually assured destruction is my favorite thing. I'm gonna move to a different page. I'm already low on that page. Day 25 will be... Ooh. November has 30 days, right? Actually, I might find out depending on Yes? Okay, sick. I do want to see something though. Oh, they don't change the weather? Crazy. Because we the 24th day should be November 30th, which means today is Tuesday, December 1st. I'm gonna be so real, Mom. I did say that rhyme in my head. For those that do not know, it is the rhyme that I used to try. The rhyme that I was taught to remember how many days are in the months was, what is it? 30 days has September, April, June, and November, and then everything else has 31 except for February. We'll do toolshed. Wrench. And Shuffel. There was a kid's math game that taught me a method to remember it. Ooh, that's fun. Is there anything else in here? I feel like sometimes I get 3 items from here. No? I just guess based on feeling. Honestly, incredible. You can also use the knuckles on you. How does that one work? You're gonna have to teach me that one, because that one seems like a mystery to me. Dan immediately. Knuckle method. How does everyone know the knuckle method but me? I was left out of this meeting. Rachel literally just taught me. Okay, good. And also Vare doesn't know, so we got a few people. Ooh. That's a lot of gems. If only I had a classroom to put them in. You'll learn when you get to grade 2. Ah, crap. Up is 30 days, down is... up is 31 days, down is 30. July, you end up at the last knuckle, and then August starts at the... You're explaining part of it. Chapel? I mean, yeah, we'll do chapel, because that way we can start maxing for, God, me money. We can start maxing for, the funeral parlor. Empty closet next to a red room. Excellent! What do you got for me? Dice. Ooh, that's a silver key? Ooh. Knuckle space, knuckle space. Okay. I'll just assume what you guys are telling me makes sense and move on. I've got so many gems. What courtyard? As you go, say the months in order. Okay, where do you start? Like, do I just start on my left hand, my right hand? Do I start, like, on my wrist? Where do I start with this knuckle method? Wait, hold on. No, I don't get it. Commissary. I don't really have the money for that. Pantry. Could give me some money. Time to pull up a video. Start on knuckle. I have like 13. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait. I have like 14 on the hand. If we count the thumbs. Is it just the fingers? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, shit. Sorry, I only just started... Okay, hold... I'm counting 12 knuckles on one hand. So I still don't get this method. I'll look up a video later, because I don't think explaining it via text over Twitch chat is being the best example. Being the best example for helping me out. Anyway, we gotta read now. I'm the first person to check out this book. Probably because I'm the first person to add it to the library. And it is December 1st. Bless you, thank you very much. The Curse of Blackbridge. Oh, yeah, this book was graciously gifted by Simon P. Jones, me. Alright. Hold on. Forward. The Legend of Blackbridge is... Sorry. The Legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm. For versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and, one might expect, increasingly horrifying. So the main reason I'm curious about this book is because the cave outside is called Blackbridge Grotto. So I'm wondering if I can find the admin password to the PC in Blackbridge Grotto in this book somehow. So I'm going to be looking out for some things. Do I deserve more ice cream? I mean, there's no reason not to. Deserving is unimportant. Do you want more ice cream? However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale, capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. Wait, hold on. Oh my god! Okay, chat, this entire stream is gonna be me reading this book. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues as wayward that the locals deemed it inappropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. Read me to sleep will do. Hold on. Okay, this method seems to make sense, but at the same time, hold on. August, September, October, November, December, then January, February, March. January, February, March, April, May, and then June, July. Hold on. This method seems weird. I'm just going to stick with my rhyme. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to that group, a dozen more lay unclaimed. Did you start with September? No, I think I started from like one side of the hand. I started from the wrong side of the hand is what happened with me. I started in like July because I saw that one on the right side. Anyway. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. You always used to do that, because that's when school started and it was the first month you learned. I mean, yeah, that makes the most, like, to a kid, basically up until, like, you leave college, September is the start of the school year, and that's kind of more important than a regular year, I'm gonna be honest. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take an easy road out, an easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was there that he met his surrogate family and saviors, the notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to his vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned to innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocent that set berry picker apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. Is that whirring noise in the game? No, I'm taking a screenshot of every page of the book just in case I need it for something later. It's probably Sonic trying to stay cool. That too. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jasper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worrying about being chastised for tarrying upon his return. The screenshot. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves appeared as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous? Okay. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, the screenshot noises heck the dog. I'm sorry, I must document the book. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly, and nearly toppled over and out of joy. Once he regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of his newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates. He would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thunderous hooves interrupted him. Prepare to get hecked. A carriage! A carriage is approaching! The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the large bushes nearby. It was only a moment more before the sound's source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid. Grandma had quite the vocabulary. That is true. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses, and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. Like how I got sophisticated and regalia correct, and then I messed up Jesper. This guy deserves so many pats. She do. It was not just any carriage. It was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. I'm doing some illegal hydration because my throat is going to be dying by the end of this with how much reading I'm doing. The sight had so...
Fine, feel free to go off and die in a ditch somewhere.
I guess we're beaning then. She receives them sometimes against her will. Ooh, okay. Is this the only... Yeah, this is the only yellow one. Alright, this is either top banana or wet... So, the bean redeem is essentially... do you know the bean boozled? Like the Jelly Belly beans? Basically, I just eat one of those. That's the point of the bean redeem. Is, I spin the wheel and I see what it lands on, and then we see if it's a good bean or a bad bean. Oh, that's a bad bean. Oh, that's gotta be wet dog. Oh god. Wait, is it? Yeah, that's not a banana. That is so not banana. I would have not redeemed it if I knew. I mean, that's part of the fun, is that I have the chance of eating a bad bean. We enjoy the beans around here. At least I think we do. We haven't done them in a while. When will Sonic get a Deji emote? I guess I could draw one. It wouldn't be very good. I thought it was a redeem to get coffee. Oh. I don't think... I do have a Keurig, but I don't really use it that often. So, I don't know if I would have to probably change the way I, Also, I don't really think I should drink coffee at like 7 p.m. So... Anyway, where were we? Right. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he had stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effort that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. What even is feel free to go off? I was on my phone. It's a... You know what? It'll probably be easier for me to just show you. Hold on. Or actually, can I just... Hold on, it's probably already played, but can I replay it? Let's find out. Yep. This is it.
Fine, feel free to go off and die in a ditch somewhere.
That's the sound alert for feel free to go off. I took the screenshot, right? Hold on. Yeah, I took the screenshot. Okay. Screenshot. You boy, get out from behind that bush. I saw, hello, Alley Cat. Glad you can make it. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you've had a good day. I hope everybody's had a good day, really. My eyelids are drooping, so I'll be lurking, Sonic. Have a good rest, Pat. I will continue to read this story into your sleep, and, yeah. Have a good rest. You boy, get out from behind that bush, he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. Well, with you still reading this, it will take it'll take this moment to shave. Alright, have fun shaving. You startled me half to death, coming round the bend of my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not to be any face. Had a good day, nice. Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries. Jasper raised the half-filled basket to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. Breaking news, Sky loves roasted sweet potatoes. Let's go! The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expression on the most fiendish bandits. He had many times seen the same stern expression on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. Yep, farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy. Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the brush, proudly brandishing his basket. I know. What a luck I found them. I have only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number. The driver bent down for a closer look. And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far. Jasper replied with a scripted response. A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods. My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning. It was true. It was true. Tanner Fork was the exact opposite direction that Jasper had traveled, and while the response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. Sir, I have traveled much farther for less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself. Jasper felt happier with this response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth, often, but perhaps I took it for granted, because I never had to travel very far, and even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, and I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste in memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over to the seat to reach down to the basket, and at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, a dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through the superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me I will not kill you if you give me no cause. Though I will admit, the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointed towards the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did, in turn, softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down and then grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession, I assure you, of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree, where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on the man's face now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there's no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished gold facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried? Clemency is such a strange word to choose. I mean, we are in like 1980s or something. Like, hold on. Yeah, we are currently in the 1993. Or maybe even 1893. And this is like an older book, so. Liveried just means in uniform? Ah, gotcha. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. And Grandma's telling the story. Yeah, imagine like, it's like, come here, boy, let me tell you a story about some bandits. Anyway, do you know what the term clemency and liveried means? Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all four sides of the box hinted that the box is very old and likely not created by Orindinian hands. It reminded him of the artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Clemency is just a fancy way of saying mercy? That makes sense. Hey now. Whoa. Where'd the hand appear? Oh, okay, just for that. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock that would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Indentured just means, like, I mean, I vaguely get what indentured means. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, there is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up and carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when the lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. One hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should have never been opened, and you are cursed. And back. Welcome back, Jerry. Hope you had a good shave. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what, you mumbling agentor? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person? The man did not seem intimidated. 1 pace. He paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there ever was a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Oh, damn. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses, and had never doubted their validity in the past. But now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. I managed to not cut myself shaving? Excellent. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here. Did I take it? Hold on. Did I? I gotta check that I take screenshots of everything. Yep. Here's a screenshot of this page. To be discovered here. Beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No. It would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make the first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him as he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of gold trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated a short number of paces back to the road. 4, perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great a chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function ought to secure objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And then, with that statement said aloud, to the horses, seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Part 2, Below the Black Bridge. Alright. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held, then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. Sorry, I'm just seeing, I just noticed that a couple, like, the words that are italicized, maybe they're important, but I'm not sure. They also might just be there for emphasis in the book. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, followed her finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post. A necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for their unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy, never. For their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern, as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Excuse me. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. Okay, so that kid's math game that taught me about the knuckle trick 2 months. Oh, nifty. Maybe I should play that on stream someday. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. I posted it in Discord for your leisure. It's timestamped to the knuckle method. Gotcha. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farm hands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Boop. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month amongst the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms on the flat of the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's north end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. Took me a second to recognize the word tricorn. They belonged to a local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like a typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead, The familiar crunch of high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and had drawn her bow. Go! Revia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry, but before she even finished processing the thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Revia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they had both now realized. They had made a mistake. In before none of this being helpful for any puzzles, you never know. The gang's chieftain, Gregory Heartslasher, Jesus, what a name, led the others cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in a customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and, beside him, a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jester had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. Jeffrey Heartslasher is the best friends of Jack the Ripper. They share notes. Yeah, Jack the Ripper occasionally summer homes in the cave up in Blackbridge. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nestles of this cave, but he still had thorns, horned by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded this so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Revia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Revia placed two bent fingers against Miller's cheek. And with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fordick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Yeah, I don't think there was anything helpful in that book, but it was a cool tale. Well, I say there was nothing helpful. Yeah, I don't... Hello. Take a look at that. Doesn't that symbol look familiar? Wow, that was messed up. They were bandits. Like, I agree it was kind of a messed up tale, but they were also bandits. But that symbol does look familiar. So I'm glad we went through this, at least. Posted an image of a 4-pack of puzzles I did. I'll take a look. Give me a sec. Ooh. That is a cool 4-pack of puzzles. Where's my blueprint spoilers? Is there any, hold on. Because now there's something to think about for me. Because that symbol in the bottom right there, being so similar to the symbol on the note in the clock tower, makes me think. Oh. The now they speak is just mean. It really is. Thomas Kincaid style is something. I see. So, I just had a thought, and I'm going to go engage in this thought real quick. I just want to see if this is correct. It might not be, but I want to find out. And I'll explain when I get there. Damn. All right, so my logic was, I'll quick show what I was talking about. My logic was, because in the book, there was that image on the gravestone. And, right, where is it? Is this it? No. Is it? No? Dang it. Oh, hold on. Actually, yeah, I guess we could do Discord then. If you look here, because hold on, they're not actually showing. There we go. So, if you remember this symbol being on this note in the clock tower, and as Mom had pointed out, it says sacred with the first few letters. And I thought that that symbol also being in the Blackbridge book meant that these two were connected. But it does not appear that sacred was the admin. Although the fact that I can do lowercase is interesting. But yeah, that was my attempt to see if maybe that would work. It did not appear to work. And I mean, maybe Jesper. Maybe Jesper is the... Maybe Jesper's a admin. Dang. E or A for the second letter. It was E. It was Jesper the entire time. Although I will say, the description of the berry bushes did remind me of all of those like blinking red lights in this room. So that is also another thing to think about. Like I'll double check the screenshots. Hold on. Yeah, Jesper. Jesper. All right. Well, I mean, I've taken screenshots of every single page, so if there is something that we can use as a hint for that password, we'll find it eventually. For now, let's just keep exploring. We'll do, I guess, pantry? Yeah, we could do pantry. Pantry's fun. Get some money. And a banana. Funeral parlor could be good. It would kind of lock us in at this current location. So I might do hallway instead. Yeah, I'm gonna do hallway instead for now. Grab a key. And we'll just head north. Bedroom would lock us in. Corridor would keep us going. Drawing room. I got so many gems. We'll do drawing room. Anything of interest in here? I'm like half disappointed now that we've done all the painting puzzles, because now there's nothing new to learn just from exploring different rooms. Like, I have to now, like, seek specific things out. I'm gonna do terrace, because that lets me just spam green rooms without needing to spend gems, which is nice. Banana! The funeral parlor now could be good. Commissary, I have like 6 money. What is the painting on the easel? Well, first I'll do funeral parlor. That's just, I think that's a portrait of Herbert. It does not. Hey chat. See that? See how that's bent? Oh ho ho ho. Now, ain't that interesting? Okay, we have a safe in the drawing room. Now, the question is, how do we solve... So, again, if we remember... Oh, hold on a minute. If we remember... Yeah, so it is, if we count small gates, 8 dates crack 8 safes. That is the clue we have. So we need some kind of date. And perhaps... What's with the arrows? I just noticed. There's like a distance for feet. What could that be about? I don't see any other details in this painting that could help. Card on the table. Hold on a second. Have fun, bud? I will. The card on the table is just talking about floor plans. Strides is silly. Do you not remember the story? I guess... It's measuring their stride? I mean, it is. I'm not familiar with the length of their... Oh, you're right. Well, I guess kind of right. Yeah, because it's like that dude looks kind of older with the hunched over in the umbrella. 12 strides? Is it 12 strides? Hold on, what story are you talking about? Because I assume I took screenshots. I hope I took screenshots of the story that you're talking about. Do horses live a long time? And do women live a short time? Oh! I guess I did just read it. I think it's 13 steps, because he took one step and then there was 12 more. But is that... Okay, so do we need small gates and... Well, because that's not a date, though. Because the thing is, it's like, it must be a date. I don't see a date in this room. I see gates, probably. I assume one of these pictures is gates. And so it's something with the small gates. Maybe? I don't know. There's not a lot in this room besides a bunch of images. Is that Gates? Hold on, let me think. Did he look like that? I don't think he had a beard, so it's not that. He wasn't a woman. And he's not a kid. I think it has to do with the clock. Well, the clock is just the current time. Like, this is just gonna be, like, yeah, you can see it's slowly moving up. Like, that is just the current time that it is. That's not anything to do with, the puzzle, sadly. Horses have gates. I guess they do. But I don't know if that's relevant. Oh, God. I don't think there's a date involved in this room. Horses are cool. You measure them in hands. It's like, if this is date related, I don't know what date we have. So you know what? Let's just count small gates. Let's say that's gates. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that small? Small enough. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nope. All right. Does it include the big one? Is it the fact that he's small steps with gates? Is it all the small steps? If we count small gates, 8 dates crack 8 saves. That's what we're looking at right now. Is it also March? Like, is it just borrowing from the book in the office? How would I know that? This is literally a Pepe Sylvia room. I've got red string all over the place. What's with the haunts? What's with the woman? What's with that guy? What is with any of this? Okay, you know what? Let's go with small gates, as in walks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let's just try 0019. Nope. Okay. What else could be small gates or a date? Those are the two things we need. Either a small date, we need small gates, or a date. Or actually, no, we need a date. There needs to be a date in this room. Because it's 8 dates crack 8 saves, and there should be at least 8 saves in this house, because that's for the 8 red letters. Which means that there has to be some kind of date in this room. But where? There's nothing that even references a day or a month. Is there knuckles in here? Do I gotta count some knuckles? Huh? You pointing at a knuckle to tell me what date it is? No? Painting has nothing else in there in terms of a date? Pepe Sylvia.
Oh no!
Exactly. Now that we know that this can fall down, now that we know we can pull this down to open a safe, we're suddenly in a whole... Now, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. That's not the standard, like, where a rotary dial stops. What's the painting guy looking at? That guy? Or this guy? He's looking at those 3, I guess. Or that candelabra. What? Where? Because he's seated. Yeah, he's seated in that chair. Hold on. I guess he's looking this way. I'm not sure how this helps. Why are you here? I can't crouch, so I can't, like, look underneath it or something. I was onto something, and then you distracted me. What was I thinking about? Rotary phone, right. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's not where the normal rotary phone stops, right? So is it, like, you know? Like, if you think about it. Because normally, like, that circle would be, like, here. Not usually, yeah. So I'm wondering if this is the hint. So, like, is it, like... Because you'd have like, you'd have... Hold on. Use the mouth so I have a little more control. You have, like, this would be, like, down here. Because normally that gap would be there. So then... Your finger was, like... Is that, like, 7? Because if the gap would be there, so it'd be like, so the gap would be there, and then it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because then 9, 0. So is it 8, you think? So 8, and then... The fact that I can... Hold on. I can move with my mouse and walk with my controller at the same time. I love games that let you do that. Anyway. So do you think it's 08... And then maybe I'll try 0819, combining all of the small gates, quote unquote, of like people walking and the phone. Nope. Okay, what else do we got? We could go with the small images of this guy, because maybe that's gates. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Although what's small? Because they're all different. They're all, like, varying sizes. Like, is that small? I know that's not small. But, like, does this count as small gates? Maybe we just go with the ones where it's, like, small and just one. Yeah, maybe it's just, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's 0805. Let's try that. So the thing is, these are dates we're looking at, right? So 08 would be like August. It'd be like August 5th. Like, because these are like the dates that the letters are sent, and like when we actually get down to it. But I don't know how that's going to help me figure out what day it is. Okay, we still got time. It's not dark yet. Small gates. If we count small gates, 8 dates crack 8 saves. So it is, so 08... and then something, and then another number involving small gates would give us a date that would then correspond to the letter in the safe. That's what I'm thinking. That's where my brain's at right now. Do we think that's Gates? Because he's the big picture in the center of the room. So we're gonna try counting small of him. Does it have to be specifically him facing the left, too? Maybe. So we can do 1, 2, 3. So 0803. Let's try that. Nope. Okay. So let's say that's not Gates. Would the orientation matter, though? Like, is this the Gates picture? So it's like 1, 2, 3. Oh, we already did 0803, so it can't be that. What to do. What else could be? Because it has to be something with the paintings, right? That kid's body's messed up. His right hand is a left hand. Maybe it's just the guys and gals? Just like all of them? Or are you talking about the guys and gals that have small walks? He's a JoJo pro tag. I mean, because, like, that arm should be his right hand, which means his thumb should be on the other side. That hand's fine. Is there a date on the newspaper? Is there a bigger newspaper I can look at? Maybe this one. It kind of looks like there's a number 1. That telephone asset is a repeat? Oh, is it? Is that telephone in other rooms? I just didn't notice it. Beans. If we count small gates, 8 dates crack 8 saves. I mean, how would we know what order to put them in, though, is the problem. We'll try ladies then dudes. 1, 2. Drawing room becoming the most spent time contender. I mean, every room that has a safe is going to become that at some point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did you read that book? I mean, the library is gonna always have a chance to be the longest spent. So, okay, let's go with 4. So 04, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 04, 15 maybe? Oh, 4, 1, 5. Damn! What? Damn, Sylval, I would not have thought of that. Thank you very much. I was kind of hoping that would work. Because I'm going to give you guys a little reference here. If you ever play a game that touts that it's called an immersive sim, I was thinking of binaries because you need a month and a day. That is true. That is true. So this should be, what? January, February, March, April. It should be April 15th, I believe. That one just says the number 6. That's just the word 6. So if you ever play a game that calls itself an immersive sim, I think BioShock, Dishonored, Deus Ex, System Shock, these types of games, we'll play an immersive sim at some point on stream, so I can explain it to you. Hold on, safe. Hold on, let me write down safe code 0415 red letter 6 parentheses SIX. If you ever play an immersive sim, at some point, usually pretty early on, there will be a code that you have to enter, and that code is usually 451 or 0451 or something like that. Because every single immersive sim, for some reason, it has a reference to Fahrenheit 451 in it. I'm not sure how or when that started, but apparently that is a thing, and I can confirm, because I think in Dishonored and Deus Ex Human Revolution, like the first safe you encounter in Dishonored, the code is 451. And in Deus Ex Human Revolution, the first code you enter in an elevator is 0451. So there is a trend to that. There's a couple of immersive sims I want to play on stream. So we will see that I will point that trend out when it happens. But 415, I'm like, if it's this, it's kind of close to that whole immersive sim thing. Anyway, April 15th. Dearest Mary, I know the events of the past year have catapulted you into a world you may not have been ready for. It's cruel the way time rips through our lives, leaving them barren and fruitless like wind-scarred plains. Throughout this all, I know your principal concern has always been Simon. You didn't need to confide in me yesterday for me to realize that fact. Everyone who knows you understands this. I will take full responsibility to ensure that regardless of how your current project pans out, Simon is shielded from any fallout and, God forbid, repercussions. A child should never suffer the inequity of their parents. I, of course, write you all this in the hope that I can set your mind at peace when imagining the worst-case scenarios. Not because I think such an outcome is likely. No, Mary, I have few apprehensions and fewer fears. Assuming everything goes according to plan, you should be reunited with Simon again before his 10th birthday. And while 2 years might seem like an eternity to a mother, I've always heard the days pass by more quickly in the East. Why is that? As for me and you, I've already come to terms that our meeting yesterday was very likely our last. I am too old and too stubborn to ever leave this place. I am too attached to the home our family has built up. I am too attached to the home our family has built up, room by room. Yes, I have a strong premonition that I will be buried in red soil under red flags, a compromise I know you yourself would never accept. It's been a joy watching you grow up and getting to know you. Your mother and I spoke of little else during our school days. I know she'd feel the same bittersweet pride I feel now, to see you following in your father's footsteps and making the same sacrifices he did. Farewell, my marigold. We may yet meet again. Your uncle, Herbert. Interesting. I like how we read the letter of the last time Herbert met with my mother, Mary, and right next to it is the funeral parlor where his funeral took place. Ooh, poetry. The gems are in a box with a statement containing the letter B. Well, that includes you. The blue box is true. Okay. The gems are in a box with a statement containing the letter U. Interesting. This is one of those conditional things where we're going to have to work this out by... We're going to have to prove something false by first asserting that it is true and seeing how it complicates the matter of it being... You know, like... Okay, let's start with this. Let's say this is true. The blue box is true. That means that this also has to be true, which when there's 3 statements, there can be 2 truths. So if this one is true, the blue box is true, then this one, the gems are in a box with a statement containing the letter B, is also true. Oh, this is like the logic puzzles we do in maths for proof? Exactly. And to be honest, I'm crazy and I like these. The gems are in a box with a statement containing the letter U. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if these statements also refer to themselves, as in, oh, this box has the letter U on it, meaning that it would have this in, like, you know what I mean? Actually, I think it would count itself. Okay. Because right now, let's look at all these. If this one is true, then the gems are in this one, which means this one is false and this one is false. But if this one is false, that means that the gems, that this, wait. The gems cannot be in the white box. And here's why. If this statement is true, the gems are in a box with a statement that containing the letter U, and this one is true, the gems are in a box with a statement containing the letter B, this one has both that letter B and the letter U, meaning that the gems could be in this box. However, if blue is true and black is true, then white must be false. Because if there's 2 truths, the last one has to be false. And if the white box is false, that means that the blue box is then false, which means that our entire assertion is already false. So both blue and black cannot be true. If white is false and blue is false, then the gems are in a box with a statement containing the letter U, meaning that they can only be in this one or in this one. Ooh. But they can't. The way this puzzle works is that it has to tell you what box the gems are in, right? Like, it can't leave it up to a guess. That makes sense? So, like, if only the black box is true, that means it could be in this box or it could be in this box. And if that's the case, it's a 50-50 shot, and I don't believe that the puzzle would leave that up to interpretation. Like, I don't think the puzzle would be like, oh, there's two possibilities and you just have to guess. Or maybe I have to interpret it as this question does not include this box, where this box does not contain the letter U on it. But I don't think that's the case, because the box has letter U on it. Okay. So, if this box is true, then this box is true, and this box is false. Which means it can't have the letter U, but it can have the letter B, which means it could be in either blue or black. This one's a toughie, because it's a matter of, like, this one has to be true. Now, here's why. The blue box has to be true because the gems are in a box with a statement containing the letter B. All three of these boxes have the letter B on them, which means that blue has to be true unless the gems aren't in any box, which is not part of the puzzle. Blue has to be true, which means white also has to be true, because white is saying that blue is true, and if blue has to be true, then white is also true, which means that black is then false. Wait a minute. If black is false, meaning it can't be a box that has the letter U on it, it can't be in the white box because the white box has the letter U on it, and it can't be in the black box because the black box has the letter U on it. But the blue box does not contain the letter U. Oh, oh, that was a good one. Oh, oh, I feel pretty smart. I feel pretty accomplished for actually figuring that one out. That one was pretty good. Ooh, special keys, silver key. Right, what does the silver key do? Leads you to room with many doors. Interesting. Do I really want to do room with many doors? Not really. I feel pretty proud of that one. We can do garage because A, I've got a ton of gems. You are so good at those. I mean, I take pride in the fact that I'm pretty good at those, yeah. This is why I chose the funeral parlor, because I was confident enough in my ability to do those puzzles that I'm willing to take the risk reward of losing the funeral parlor. Anyway, we're gonna do the garage because the 3 keys, and I have plenty of gems. Quick. Now I also know that leaving the west end through the garage isn't going to give me anything important, so we don't need to care about that. I'm going to go to sleep. Good night. Good night, Lance. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you can make it. Thanks for lurking and sticking around for long enough for me to solve that puzzle. Yeah, have a good night. Yeah, I think that's everything in here. So let's go. You have to make a bit of a trek, which is fine. We could hit up this room in the hallway. Ooh, I have to go through the chapel. It's a little gross. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what we get. Bedroom. That's pretty good. It kind of refreshes our steps for a bit and could give us the sleeping mask. Nice. Anything else? Get a double spawn? No? That's fine. Between you and Subvel, I'm torn on who has the bigger brain today. Ooh, the bourgeois office. Ooh. Bourgeois would give us more steps, and I think that's more important than getting money right now. Right? I've got so many gems, though. No, you know what? I'm going to go with the office. Because the bourgeois can spawn everywhere. The office is a little rarer. We're going to take the office because then I can put money in a bunch of places. And I can get a gem from the safe here. Spread gold. And also, because it's a new week, we can run payroll. Oh. I should probably... I mean, I think the point is to wait on this to then... Yeah, okay. So if we get the servants' quarters or the maids' quarters, we can then use that to spawn checks, which allows us to, I think, get... I'm not sure what that allows us to do, but it could be good. So now we'll head this way. Oh, already got some money. Nice. I could go explore those rooms for money, but I don't have that many steps, so we might have to come back to the office anyways, so I'm good to just leave that for now. Secret path. Ooh, wait. We have 2 green rooms. We could spawn the bunk room and get the gems. Doubles our gems from 8 to 16. Good lord. And 2 gems in here. All right, we're just going to... I wish we had a Camper. I wish we had the classrooms today, but sadly we don't. But we're just gonna... We have so many gems. I'm just gonna burn them as we go. Now we need steps. Yeah, now we need to get steps. So I gotta find... Mostly spawning bedrooms, I think, is the way to do it. Ah, me money. I wonder who's feeding the hamster. Probably the servants. I believe they... I mean, because we already learned that we're being watched. So I think servants are sneaking in here and feeding the hamster. Okay, commissary, what do we got? Gems, I don't need those. Sledgehammer, could be useful. Metal detector... Metal detector will definitely be useful. Although I need steps, so the salt shaker might... No, the salt shaker is only going to be 1 per food, I find. I'm not finding that much food, so let's do metal detector. Better question, does the hamster have to solve the room puzzles in his home as well? Of course. We are training the most smartest hamster. This is not the run where I have the key card. That's a tragedy. The pool! Yes, sir! Oh, look at all the money in there. Wait. Interesting. Why is the pool still drained? Keycard. I thought the pool skimmer was something I can grab. There's more... Oh, yeah, there is dirt in the foundation. You're right. Real pools are like that when you dive to the bottom. What, full of money? I think that's everything here. Yeah, interesting. I could use some bedrooms. I got keys. We'll use this. Nursery could be good. Dining room, though, will be great when I get a little farther north. And let's try to book it north if we can. We can still. Good, good. Excelente. I guess we could try to spawn another room. Try to spawn a bedroom. I'm down for that. The cloister. Although, the locker room. Utility closet actually might come in more handy. Ooh. If you perch by the pool and the water parks, especially by the ends of the slides, you can make hella cash diving for people's prescription glasses. Live an interesting life. Your shelter has evolved into a cloister. Oh, the cloister is new, and I kind of want to try it. But at the same time... Okay, let's think. Right now, what could the utility closet give us? It could let us activate the garage, which is a little useless. can let us turn off the gymnasium before it spawns. And then we need to find the security room so we can turn off the key cards, because then that will be... Because we've already encountered a couple key card doors. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to spawn the... I'm going to spawn the utility closet. Oh! Right. I can change its rarity because I have the wrench. I mean, let's just make it commonplace. Because, I mean, there's no reason... I like the utility closet. I want to have that as much as possible. Alright, now let's see if we can spawn the security room. Because if we could spawn the security room, that would be pretty big. Bingo! And we'll also make this one commonplace. Because is if I can get the utility closet and the security room, all keycard doors are just unlocked immediately. Because I can do this. Keycard system. Set security level to high. And set offline mode to unlocked. Confirm settings. Back out. And we quickly run this way. And we set the keycard entry system to off. And we'll also turn that off and turn that on, because why not? Is there something in this room? There is. Coin. And then from the sounds of it, I thought there was something in here. So now, all the keycard doors we've run into are fully unlocked, so we don't have to worry about those. And there also will be more keycard doors that will then also be unlocked. Let's take the workshop. Oh. Should we adjust the work... I mean, let's adjust the workshop. Why not? Let's just make it standard instead of commonplace. Or should I just go absolutely insane and make every gear room commonplace? Just like every gear room I encounter, just make them spawn all the time? I don't see a reason not to be honest. It's not like I don't want to encounter these rooms. You run out of steps? I'm guessing with all my... Well, here's the thing I'm planning right now, Subbal. We're going to go through the top end of the workshop and spawn in the 8th layer, which means that dinner will be ready, so I can head back to the dining hall and get, like, 20 steps. I like how instead of uncommon, they go unusual. I mean, common is called commonplace, so it's equally funny. But yeah, I don't see any reason not to just make every gear room commonplace, because there is no gear room that I can think of that I don't want to spawn. Because, like, I rarely get the workshop. YOLO? YOLO. Alright. Now, what can we do with what we got? We got the shovel, compass. I can make the dowsing rod, alright. Battery pack plus something? I can make the electromagnet. Back in a sec. Good luck with the teeth. Yeah, let's make the electromagnet. That seems fun. You're more likely to draw mechanical rooms. Excellent. Oh, no, I didn't use the... Automatically collect money and coins when entering a room? Yo. This is awesome. Okay, so... Yeah, I think if I just go up one more rank... Yeah, if I go up one more rank, dinner will spawn, and then I can get food. We can make the pump room or the laboratory more common. Ooh. Chat, what are we thinking? What do we want more often? The laboratory or the pump room? You know what? No. I think I'm going to do pump room. Because I need... Lab is cool. Lab is cool. And the lab... Although the lab does allow us to get some more permanent buffs. Ooh. Although I'm currently going to get more of these anyways. Let's just do both. Lab. Commonplace. Now, as soon as I step into rank 8... What's for dinner? Pizza! Nice. What did I have for dinner? I made butter, spaghetti, and chicken. Right. Now, let's go over here, because this is closer for now. Ooh, wait, no. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, well, let's spawn this and hope it gives us a right angle. Boiler room! Yeah, why not? Make it commonplace! No! Oh! Hit the wrong button. Boiler room's rarity remains the same. Tragic. I'm a fool. Anyway, laboratory. So, experiment setup. Let's get an experiment going. Whenever you spend 2 or more gems drafting a room, set your steps to 40. Immediately? Every time you unlock or bypass a security door. Ooh, wait a second. That could just give us infinite steps. Because, okay, so gamers, think about it like this for a second. Each time you unlock or bypass a security door, set your steps to 40. I assume that means by opening the security doors that are already unlocked because of the security system on right now, we'll just constantly get to 40 steps. I think that might just be infinite. Let's start this. Because there is a keycard door behind me. We can test this theory. I guess we can do the kitchen. Get some more. Like, we could just see if we get. Oh my god! Nigh infinite steps! Ugh. A key? Gross. Pump room. Activate the pump room. Set it to commonplace. Make sure I don't mess this up. Hit continue. Excellent. Now, shovel. Have you read the red card next to the lab computer? I believe I have, yes. How do I activate you again? So this what I've just noticed is this doesn't get reset with the days. So if we activate the pump control, if we change where the water is in the pump, then stretch. Okay, give me 1 second because I want to look at something real quick. Reserve tank. How do we unlock the reserve tank again? Power. Right. So we're kind of screwed right now because I don't think I can get power into this room. Oh, sad. All right, hold on. We'll stretch. That's a little unfortunate because that means we can't completely lower the reservoir, which is much the point of the pump room. Ooh, geez. But now that although the boiler room is still uncommon because I accidentally messed that one up. Or actually, no, I think it's unusual, which is uncommon. But Yeah, so we're going to be a little screwed in terms of actually getting power to the pump room to access the reservoir. But we can mess with other things, like the fountain. Let's lower the fountain's water. So, well, first of all, because these are empty. Why is there so much water in these? Okay. Pool. Let's fill the pool up. You are that pipe, which is over here. Yep, okay. Other way. Yep, empty that. Then... No, right, okay. Now, if we want to get more water into the pool, we can take it from the fountain. This fountain is this pump, which goes either way. So then we'll just pump it in. Does the 40-step thing carry over to the future? No, I believe the experiment only lasts for the day. So, only for today, if I unlock a door or bypass a security door, will it give me 40 steps. Go to the pool. I want raspberry ice cream because I deserve it, but I already had some. And back. Welcome back, Jerry. We've done some stuff. So basically we made the lab commonplace and the pump room commonplace. I accidentally didn't change the boiler room, so that one's still unusual, but we've done some pretty cool shit. And yeah, currently I have an experiment running where every time I bypass a keycard door or unlock a normal door, my step count is set to 40. Did you like the drawing room puzzle? The drawing room puzzle was interesting. I don't know if I ever would have actually solved it without Subval's help. But I'm glad we got it. It was kind of fun once we figured it out. I think thinking of binary things is a good plan for the future. Oh yeah, I think making sure that we always think about, like, 2 different numbers that we need is going to be a good plan. Yeah, when I figured it out, Gates versus Gates, I screamed! It's going to fully empty the fountain? It is as well. Nice. Okay, now... Mom figured out that part. That's true. Yeah, Mom did mention horse gates. And that must have, I was thinking strides, I see. Okay, what's next? Sadly, we are so close yet so far, because, like, the boiler room is here, but I don't have any power connections to get it to the pump room, because the kitchen doesn't have any, sadly. But, hold on. I gotta check something. Why can the kitchen have water? Like, yeah. What does that give us? Like, do I get any benefit? Do I need to, like... Do I need to change... Is this just aesthetic? I'm not sure. Well, I was gonna leave the sink running because I'm a bastard. Unless, can I clog it with something? Does the kitchen sink have lore? I don't know! Can I bake a cake? There's a lot of baking stuff around. I think it'd be fun if I could actually bake a cake, but I don't think I can. Yeah, I'm gonna waste all the water in this place. Goodbye. Was there dirt in the pump room? There was. I already dug it up, so we don't have to worry about that. I guess we can go this way. I'm gonna use my silver key. I've got no other use for it right now. Let's just do it. Every sink has lore, and the garbage disposal knows more. I've got so many. Let's do the passageway. The passageway does connect with power, so that's also nice. Aha. Open up this. Servants' quarters, sauna. Tomorrow you will start the day with 20 extra steps. Because if I do servants' quarters, I can book it back to the office, trigger the payroll, and then come back here to see what that check is. Ooh. Decisions. For science? What, the servants' quarters or the sauna? They are both new, so I will get... Let us learn of the check. Got it. I've got gems for days, so yeah, this works out. So, our steps go up to 40, and if I step in here, I get another plus... Oh, right, it picks up all the money and... There are 12 major keys. Okay. Well, actually, servants' quarters is new, so I'm going to write that down. There. Well. Major. Is there a safe in the music room? Well, these are all the bedrooms. We've seen the master bedroom once. It's her ladyship's chamber. That's the one we've missed so far. Anyway. Hartley, I know this is the yapping episode where I just read all the time. Hartley, I know we spoke often of this day. I don't think there's anything I can say from the past 40 years that I haven't already attempted to tell you in numerous times in the past. Half-stated gratitude, always interrupted with tactful and polite repudiations from you. Who knows music? Are there 12 major keys in music? I don't know. Because the thing is, the music room had the major key and minor key spawn, so I'm wondering if that's why. That's what I'm doing. I had always known this final letter could give me the perfect opportunity to finally express myself uninterrupted by you and unfettered by social graces. But I do not feel the inclination to say aloud what has always been unsaid between us. With my passing, I release you from your post in service to the Sinclair family and implore you to live the remainder of your years on your own terms, as scary and unfamiliar of a concept as that may be to you. Besides, I think a more junior valet would be better suited to meet the needs of young Master Simon. To that end, if you wish, you may stay long enough to oversee the training and establishment of your successor in their post, but as soon as he or she has the lay of the land, my instructions for you to quit must be satisfied. Ignoring what I imagine your objections might be after reading this, I have decided to leave the lake house in Trinsdale to you and your family. My lawyers have all the details of the gift and will be contacting you shortly about the particulars. For the past 4 decades, you have served willingly as the subject and victim to my many whims, games, and riddles, and so rest assured, unlike my nephew, you will not be put to yet another challenge to prove yourself worthy in this matter. The house is yours without strings or stipulations. I had for a time gleefully entertained the notion of employing Anne as the house manager of your new residence, but I knew the humor of such a prank would be entirely lost on you, to say nothing of her. Until we meet again, friend, Herbert. Okay, so... Oh, the servants' quarters. This must be, like... So, hold on. Hartley. That feels familiar, but I'm going to have to look into that. For now, we have a goal, which is to book it back to the office. Alright, so... Down, down, down. Right, down... Oh, the office is so far away. And we have to go through the chapel. So just go straight down, left in the commissary, through the courtyard, chapel, observatory, entrance hall, pantry. Okay. Running in the pool because I am a rebellious spirit who breaks the rules all the time. Trust me. I have $14. Let's buy something. Salt shaker? Why not? Sledgehammer? Sure, give it to me. See ya. And I'll donate my last coin to the chapel. I'm still perpetually worried about the fact that I don't know what the puzzle is with all of these, like, chess pieces. But they're there. And they frighten me so. Do I still have a metal detector? I do. So if anything spawned in here, I would know. Office. Run payroll to the servants' quarters. What's in the bucket chess piece? What's in the bucket chess pieces always look tasty to me. Okay. Okay, so... Yep, just head through the den, up to the chapel, courtyard, commissary, okay. Oh! Right, as I'm running through rooms, I'm collecting the money in them. Interesting. This is today's new sentence. I've tried to combine words in a way that have never been done before. You know, I've had that happen to me a bit. Basically... Upright. For me, a bucket of prawns is not to be confused with a bucket of pawns. Aha. There's all the money. And the check. Payroll issued for the week of 11/8. Amount 10 gold. Interesting. I believe I picked up 10 gold in this room. So is that all it is? Is it just an additional money? And it gives me... Is that the starting week? Is that supposed to be like the week that this whole game started, and so that's how I figure out what day it is? I'm guessing. Well... what time is it? 8:41? I feel like that's a good time to end. So it doesn't really matter what we do unless we do the archives. Why week of 11/8? Well, because currently it's December 1st. So it's not the payroll of the current week. And also because, like, basically all of them are on extended leave right now, so there's no reason to give them payroll for this current time. And if we do the math, on the 23rd day, it was the 29th, which means that the first day was the 6th, right? I don't know. You know what? It doesn't matter. I know what day it is, so I don't really need to care. I gotta reroll. I'm not gonna really want any more rooms anyway, so let's just reroll and see if we get something good. You know what I'm gonna do? This might be bad. Oh no, it can't. Or no, it can be good no matter if it can be good if I play this correctly. I'm gonna take the secret passage for once, and we're gonna go to a. Well, first of all, let's look around, see if there's anything new in here. Well, secret passage has a black pawn. Oh god, I didn't see what... Hold on. Servants' quarters is this way? Okay, good. I got time. Because I never saw if there was a chess piece in the servants' quarters. Because there wasn't one. Interesting. That's hiding from me. No? Okay. Anyway, back in here. I guess we'll take a screenshot of all these books, because... Why not? Bucket of prawns. It's just a bucket. I don't think there's prawns in it. Alright, now we're going to go green thumb. Because I want to try and get to either the courtyard or the terrace. Either way, that gets me closer to the entrance hall. Because we drained the fountain, I want to see what's down there. Oh! I didn't realize that's what the secret passage meant. Bro, if I thought it meant it like takes me to like one of the rooms out of that color that are already spawned. Dog, if I knew it spawned like if I could choose what color of room I wanted next, I would have taken this every time. What? Brug. Double courtyard. There's not many green rooms I have, so. What did it do? Basically, I choose one of the colored books, and then it guarantees that all of the rooms in the next like draft pool are of that color. I wanted it to teleport me to the terrace or courtyard, but instead it spawned all green rooms in this pool. Not what I wanted. I don't know, just aquarium. Why not? Now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we could still get back to... As much as I want to go into the aquarium, we did drain the fountain, and I want to see what's down there. So we're going to quickly run back there. So yeah, down through the foundation, through the commissary, through the courtyard. What if you drain the aquarium? I have yet to drain the aquarium, so I don't know what would happen. I assume the fish would die, and that would be sad. Oh my, is this all the money I've thrown in here? I think it is, because I've made a lot of wishes. Okay, so I can store a coin a day, basically, through the fountain. Ah. The basement key. Okay. Fountain. Basement. Oh. You know what I'm guessing? I think because the foundation has the basement door. You go down the spiral staircase, but you don't have the ring of sifts, so you cannot fight the fort. Yeah, I just get down here and die instantly. So I think if I unlock this door and I keep the fountain drained, I'm able to immediately go to the foundation. Assuming I have a key card to activate that elevator. Which I don't most of the time. So, yeah. And we're out of steps today, and we only have like 13 minutes left for stream, so we might have to just do a quick day or something. I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay, we have 13 minutes left. Chat, do we want to do one more day, or do we want to call it early? I could just, like, be really stupid for a day and see if we get anything fun. Yes? Alright, cool. I'll just run over towards my... I'll run over towards my tent, because I'm gonna have to go there anyways, because I'm calling it a day. I've lost so much money. Ugh. Let's see what kind of mansion we built, though. The Clockwork Inn. 6 mechanical rooms and 5 bedrooms. Hell yeah. Yeah, and the fountain stays drained until I, release it from its human bonds. So, there's no point in me grabbing... You should have left some money in the fountain since it stays drained. I'm not sure if the money would have stayed in there, though, is the main thing. You know what? Let me try something. Grab the money. Can I still make a wish in an empty fountain? No. Okay. I guess I can check if the money stays in the fountain after it's, It is worth mentioning a large chunk of the stream was just reading, so an extra day bounces things out. That's true. I did read a lot today. You know, we haven't gone to the trading post in a while. Let's see if there's anything worth it in here. Hole to dig up. Oh, okay. I don't know if we thoroughly explored this last time. But... Anyway, commerce. Yeah, nothing to trade in. But if we have stuff... I found a new puzzle. What is this? I don't know, man. It's blueprints. But you have no post to trade. If you have a post, why trade for another post? I mean, what if it's a better post? What if it's made of asparagus? Why would you want an asparagus post? So you want to trade that. Food for thought. Hallway is just the Nook, but better right now, so we'll do that. Let's look at the floor a little bit, see if I'm missing a coin or a gem. Clock tower could be nice. Bedroom could be nice. Funeral parlor early. Then we have to come back to it. Let's do clock. No, I only have 2 gems. Let's do bedroom. I'm not gem maxing like I was yesterday. Apple. I don't see anything else around here, so. Dark room? And then we just go to the hallway. That could work. Spawn the dark room, trigger it, and then go over to the hallway. And we do the den. People waste so much for an oven apple. I don't. I'm crazy. I eat the whole thing. Core, seeds. Not the stem, though. But, yeah, I'm crazy. Alright. Funeral parlor would loop us... Well, either way, we're looping back in and we're blocking it off. Well, I guess I could do utility closet, turn on the dark room, and then go out from the dark room. So that works. I cut my apples into eighths and then cut a small part of the core out. That's all I toss. Ah. Yeah, that's pretty sane. Turn off the gym, turn this on, turn this on. I do eat the skin, though. I mean, yeah. feel like not eating the skin is, like, it's fine. It's just, you know. There's nothing in here. Oh, broken lever. Although, if I find the greenhouse, which I've only found once and then didn't take. Could be interesting, though. Okay, this way. Ugh, I don't want to spore in the boiler room this early until we get the pool. Because I want to get the, I want to get the reservoir drained. So if I get, once I get the pool, I will try to get the boiler room and go from there. I don't have anything to really workshop together, so maybe we could do, although spawning the workshop now wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. Yeah, let's spawn the workshop now. Does workshop have anything? Sledgehammer. I guess the table always spawns an item, at least. Can I combine the sledgehammer and the broken and one other thing, it seems. Okay. I wanna be your sledgehammer. I could do the billiard room, because I do love that puzzle. Or I could do the chapel. No, chapel. Because when I spawn the funeral parlor, then I'll get extra gems. And also it had a gem in it. Speak of the devil. And before we continue with the funeral parlor stuff, I want to see if I can get the empty closet to spawn here. That's just going to be perfect. Ah, beans. Laboratory, though. You know what? Let's spawn the laboratory. Let's see what experiment we can start up, and then we'll go from there. Experiment setup. Ooh. Okay, there's a couple of options. We could save the... Well, no, because we're trying to be fast today, so I'm going to waste the set your steps to 40 thing. But what I'll do is... I could immediately add a small chest to the entrance. That could be useful. Or you know what? When I draft an archive floor plan, set small chest, add a small chest to the entrance hall. Because what I'm going to do... What is in a chest? It's random. It's like keys, money, gems, things like that. So it's just like a random assortment of loot. But I'm going to do whenever I draft an archive floor plan and then hope I spawn the archive. Again, this is a fast day, so we don't really care how efficient we're being with all of our nonsense. Actually, I'm going to real quick see if I can't spawn a... Oh, I feel betrayed. Forlorn. Alright, I guess we'll do a funeral parlor now then. God. The gems are in the white box. Only one box contains gems. Only one box is true. Ooh. Okay. No, that has to be false. Okay, so this has to be false because this box is true. Only one box contains gems. So if this box is true, then this box has to be false because more than one box would be true then. Now, what are you? The gems are in the white box. Well, you're the only one that actually gives me a, like... Wait a minute. Yeah, no, you're the only one that gives me a, like, position of where the gems are. So I think they are in the white box. Because, like, where else could they be? Right? This puzzle seems easy. Am I crazy? Like, this box is true, which means this box is false. And this box then can be true or false. But if it's false, then I don't know where the gems would be. So it must be true. Right? Like, am I crazy for thinking this? Because the gems are not in the true box. They are in a box. And the clues lead you to that box. So the only one that gives me any notation of where the gems could be is telling me it's in the white box. Yeah, there we go. That puzzle felt weird. Okay, I guess we'll head down to the entrance hall. We don't get any other options. Go through here to get the free steps. Empty closet, not right now. Pool, though. Nice. So now we'll spawn the boiler room, if we can. Or the pump room. Oh, do I want to spawn the pump room now, though? Ooh, that's not very good for me, because if I want to get the... Ooh, craps. Ah, you know what? Screw it. This day only half matters. Do I have a shovel? I got a sledgehammer, though. Nice, 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 nice. Now, if this... Ooh, you know what? No, I'm going to spawn the boiler... I'm going to see if I can see what room spawns over here. See? If I had spawned the boiler room, I would have been screwed. So let's do... Ooh. Now that's interesting. We're going to spawn the drawing room. This does kind of literally give me one option. And if I get the option I want, it's going to end the day. Which is fine, because we kind of want that to happen. Now, I can get one reroll, which means I have 2 chances to spawn the boiler room right here. And if I get the boiler room to spawn, we can do the pump room and drain the reservoir. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to see if this stream goes on for another, like, 20 minutes? Ooh. Although security... Huh. Security does have the paneling to let me transfer power through it. So, like, if I take security, I could then turn off the keycard system, which allows me to go through that foundation door. And then I could try to spawn the pump room up security. Or the boiler room up security. Honestly, I feel like... Chat, devil I know or devil I don't? Because security is also immediately useful to make the foundation have an extra door I can go through. But if I redraw, I could get the boiler room. No, the boiler room's the one that's uncommon. Ooh, crap. Okay, no. Yeah, security's the smarter option. Like, I accidentally messed up and didn't set the boiler room to be commonplace. It's like the one I need, too. Damn. Okay. State inventory. Nothing I missed. Good to know. Alright. Keycard system. I'm sorry for how long this is going to go over time, but, I mean, that's just the nature of this game sometimes. Security level is high. Offline mode is unlocked. Sonic speed, exactly. Now, I could open that door. I could do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I'm going to do is quickly head to the utility closet. Which is this way. I like this game. This game is very, very fun. This game is mind-bending sometimes. Did we get anything new from today? We did get a new letter, so we have accomplished something. We are not leaving this stream empty-handed, at the very least. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I can't do that, can I? Ooh, crap. The foundation room basically has to be... Oh, no, I'm an idiot. I didn't go through the bedroom, so I lost steps. Ah. Tragic. Okay, let's think. What I was hoping is I could go through this foundation door, maybe find a dice, and then head back around, and then go up here to try and re-roll for the boiler room. But I don't think I have the steps for it. So I might just have to gamble on the boiler room now. You know what? Let's just go gamble on the boiler room now. Excuse me. Doesn't really matter, but we'll just go through the pump room. Maybe to, I don't know, like, call upon some outer god to be like, yes, please, please give me the boiler room so I may channel power into this room. Da-da-da-da. Ah. Darn. Does the gym have power going through the top of it? I've turned the power off to the gym, right? Manifesting didn't work. Tragedy. I did turn the power off, so we can go in here. The gym doesn't have any, ceiling things, though. Tragedy. Tragedy. Ah, well. We got some more rooms to go through. Let's just power through. Garage technically is open. Dining room is probably better, though. Let's just power north and see what we get. Should I just keep going north, honestly, as a bit? Nah, let's just keep going north. Why not? Who cares? This day is kind of a wash anyways. Oh, hold on. The 26th day. Down though. Day 26 is Wednesday, December 2nd. Excellent. Corridor, empty closet wouldn't be very helpful unless I've spawned it down by the gymnasium. Let's do corridor. Rain and grain, that's what that was. West Wing Hall could be fun. Walk-in closet would be an end over here, but, I mean, it probably should be. Now let's just do West Wing Hall. I just want to see if I can just somehow just hoof it north as far as I can to see what happens. Okay, use the key. Hat. Well, there we go. See, chat? It was worth it. Oh, and the food's ready. 4, 3, 2. I'll just barely make it. That's a hot gem. How'd you have a clock in the sauna? Why would you want to know what time it is in the sauna? Anyway. So now we're going to start tomorrow, next stream, with 70 steps. Nom nom nom. Did I eat the eyes? What's wrong with me? Make sure you don't cook too long. I'll boil myself alive in the sauna. Storeroom, no. Observatory, maybe not. Ooh, but yeah, we'll spawn this, because now we will get... We'll get 2 keys at the start of tomorrow, too. That'll be nice. Billiard room, it's a waste of a room. But I'm doing it anyways, because I want to solve the puzzle. One last puzzle for the night. What do we got? Okay. 12. Square of 4 is 16. Where is 16? There's 16. Alright, so 5 squared is 25. Minus 20 is 5. 5 squared is 25. Times 2 is 50. Divided by 10 is 5. There we go. Nice. Now let's head up to the West Wing Hall. Get another door, see where that takes us. Hat. Can't mess with the hat, sadly. What do we got? Commissary, don't really have money, I don't care. Walk-in closet, guest bedroom. I probably shouldn't do the guest bedroom. I don't need more steps, do I? Although I could. Hold on. So, 13 to 23, 12, 11, or 13 to 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 13, 12, 11, 10. We'll do it, why not? It's so sad we can't. It is tragic we can't wear the hat. Truly tragic. Free gem. And this way. Scoliosis. One day, pump room. One day I will find your secrets. $13, $12, down up to $14, and then $13 when we leave. Yeah, it basically is just a net zero going through the bedroom. Ah, me money! Foundations this way. Still don't have a shovel, so none of this is useful. Beep boop. Office, not useful. Wine cellar could end the run right now. So I guess we could do pantry would also end the run because we only have 2 rooms left, but I can't think of anything we'd want to do in the wine. We've done the wine cellar once, and I'm not going to keep any gems that I collect today, so I don't see it really being worth it. So let's go to the office and just keep moving. Dum 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 dum. Free gem. Dum 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 dum. I got a key. Empty closet. No. Pantry. Commissary would end it, so let's do pantry. Why not? Just trying to just fill out as much as I can now. Is there a key hidden around here? There's a coupon book. Nice, nice. Free apple. Nice. Some money. Why not? Passageway. Probably not. Kitchen. Could be funny. Kitchen is funny. Let's do it. Turn on the sink. Waste more water. I can afford... I don't think I have any green rooms, so let's just do club sandwich. Why not? I am just extending this way longer than I should. It's locked. Never mind. We're done. All right. Well, that was easy. Yeah, so we'll call it a day here. But we learned some stuff. Prosaic House of Cogs. Damn straight. Wait. Oh yeah, the sauna was a new room. But we will start next stream, day 27. We did read a lot of stuff, that's true. We will start day 27 with 70 steps and 2 keys, which is pretty good. But for now, that will be it for Blueprints, and that will be it for the stream. So, thank you all very, very much for stopping by. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Subval. Thank you, Lance, I believe your name was, for you followed earlier today and you managed to show up to stream. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pat. I remember you being here. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you both as well. Thank you, Lurkers. Thank you, Lurkers. Thank you, Chatters. Thank you, everybody who showed up to stream. I greatly, greatly appreciate you stopping by and keeping me company while I go insane in this manner. Pepe Sylvia meme. I cannot wait to continue. Come next Wednesday. My next stream will be on Sunday. We'll be playing more Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, a game that I am honestly having a lot of fun with. So I genuinely can't wait to play that again. If you want to catch that, feel free to drop a follow. Feel free to join the Discord server. I have a link to it lower on my page, but you can also join here to just get pinged when I go live. I usually post a little message right before I go, like a few minutes, probably like 30, maybe like an hour before I go live as well. You know, feel free to check that out. Dim, thank you very much for stopping by. I kind of guessed you were lurking, but thank you very much for chatting at the end as well. So, once again, thank you all for stopping by. Again, if you want to catch my next Secret of the Mimic stream. That'll be on Sunday. Otherwise, have a good day. Have a good night. Hope you're doing well. And if not, I hope things get better for you soon. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.